Why career assessment for achieving your goals? You need to know your edge. I just gave you some examples, and I think by now it's clear that even though you have part of your vision, you still need to go a bit more specific in which direction you're going to set your career. And of course, you need to accelerate results. Once you know in which industry you're going to go to and you develop the skills, the network, and do the right steps for that industry, you're going to be much more strategic and get to your career goal faster. Now you have two options. You can either do My Element Assessment or you can do Catapult Assessment. Careful, you can only do Catapult Assessment as a second step of My Element Assessment. My Element helps you determine a broader industry where your natural talents and passion fit. Catapult is the next step of My Element, and it provides specific professions and roles which suit you and your initial experience. If you don't have a lot of experience, I suggest you go with My Element Assessment. If you are above 20 or you already have some experience working for people, do the next step, which is the Catapult Assessment, and both will be linked in your program and in this video. What My Element Assessment gives you is clarity and confidence, focus on what you will naturally thrive, and a career foundation. So even if profession change, My Element Assessment is based on 11 universal areas of human activity which will not disappear. I mean, they will disappear if humans disappear, but if humans disappear, we don't need to have this conversation. Bottom line, My Element Assessment gives you the foundation for areas of human activity, profession, career paths which will never extinguish or will never disappear. My Element Assessment will provide you with a zone. A zone is the domain which fits both your interests, what naturally drives your interest and your attention, and your strengths, what you are better than your peers in doing. Some examples of zones are the nature zone, the visual zone, the logic zone, and the working with people zone. Within the nature zone, we have professions such as ecologist and biologist. Within the visual zone, we have professions such as artist and designer. Within the logical zone, we have subzones like finance, STEM, and medicine, and many professions. And within working with people zone, we have professions like human resource manager, career coach, like myself, consultant, coach, recruiter, etc. How to do My Element Assessment? Once you click on it, make sure that you're being very honest with yourself and set aside 10 to 15 minutes to complete the assessment. I know that at a certain point it might get a bit repetitive, so please endure. It's just 15 minutes, which will reap great benefits for you. Next steps after you complete My Element Assessment. So learn more about your zone. That in itself, it's already a very valuable career goal. For example, listen to podcasts, read articles, become interested in your zone. I have seen way too many people who are so mediocre at what they do. And they think that in order to really dive into their zone, learn more, explore, they need to be naturally curious. No, the more you learn about it, the more curious you become. So people have this backwards. You need to start learning to spark your curiosity. You can also become part of the zone. Join clubs and connect with people who are doing this, who have professions in this zone. And finally, develop skills in this zone. Now, you might not be noticing this, but I am giving you examples for your career goal. That's right, guys, we are already on to your goals. Once you have your element assessment, you can fine-tune some of these, make them very specific and measurable, and those can become your career goals. You can also go one step further if you have more life experience or more work experience and do the catapult assessment, which will help you discover your fit. You will dive deeper into specific professions and you are going to earn the star badge. Everything that you do in the Catapult platform gives you badges which signify to employers that you have developed certain skills. How do you do the Catapult assessment? Well, you can only do it after you have already completed My Element assessment. You need to reflect on more specific activities, rate them on scale of 1 to 5, and again, take some time and patience to complete the assessment. If you complete the Catapult assessment, here are your next steps. Your next step can be to start a career in that profession. If within the Catapult assessment one of your results is interior designer, you may set a goal to start an internship or a junior position in that career. You can network. By the way, network is so important. A lot of the young people that I've worked with have landed on great jobs not by seeing them online, but by networking and meeting people. You can also develop career skills, which I believe it's a must career goal for any individual on this planet. Only this time those career skills would be even more focused and more niched towards a specific profession. Here is an example for My Element assessment goal. Once you complete the assessment, you are going to get a zone, which, as I mentioned, it's a broader area of activity. How can you set a goal for your zone? Well, from now until March 31st, I will enhance my language skills by completing an online course on creative writing, writing 3 short stories or blog posts per week. So see, this is broader. This could lead to copywriting, it could lead to journalism, it could lead to content creation, it could lead to marketing, it could even lead to fiction writing, right? So it's broader, the zone, and you have a specific goal, what you're going to accomplish, in what way. Here is an example of Catapult Go example. Now here we have a more specific profession. It's not a zone within which you can have different profession, it's a profession in itself. So I will give you the example for digital marketing, widely important goal. From now until June 30th, I will improve digital marketing skills by completing a certification on Google Ads or social media, creating 3 portfolio pieces. I know that this again might sound a bit broad because it's digital marketing, it's not SEO, it's not TikTok marketing. So you can go even in greater detail with your Catapult goal. The point here is, what is your next step? Once you have your vision, now do one of the 2 assessments and have a context of a very specific industry within which you're going to set your goal. And by the way, if you paid attention and you made notes, by now you might already have some goal ideas and you may be a step ahead. See you in the next video.